April 28, which was a Sunday, was the third day of the Dumaguete Literary Festival, and I'm scheduled to be in another panel on this day. And there was also some other things scheduled before the festival events and then after, so I knew this was going to be a long day. At the Sierra Hotel's buffet breakfast, I got some hot dogs, garlic rice, and a squid dish, and an orange juice, and then champorado. This time it's the classic cocoa flavor, and I also got some cereal. My outfit for the day is another maxi dress. This time it's a gray animal print one. This is really comfortable. I like that it is very loose, and I like that it is actually floor length. I have a brown version of this dress that I wore to the Bicol University event a few days ago. I will link that vlog in the description box. My shoes are starting to fall apart though. And then at 10 o'clock, the van picked us up from the hotel to take us to brunch at this wonderful place called Unwind. I had the pork belly and java rice and a watermelon shake, and all around the table there was the usual wonderful talk that people stereotype as writerly conversation, but it's really just very random topics that people throw in. There's no such thing as writerly talk in informal settings, I think. I had a creme brulee for dessert, and then we all piled into the van again to go to the next destination, which was Arte Cafe. This cafe has an exhibit of all kinds of maps of the Philippines. There are maps of butterflies, maps of textiles, maps of flowers, and so on, all located in the different parts of the Philippines. I think this is a very nice concept, but I feel that accuracy must be checked several times. The cafe is in the nicest location. It is across the street from the old boulevard of Dumaguete City, and that old boulevard over there is our boulevard, the place that we used to hang out in May of 2002 when I was here with 9 other fellows to the Dumaguete National Writers Workshop. They have extended the boulevard and made a park at the end of it, and we went there the previous night. I will link the vlog for that in the description box. Next, we made a quick trip to the National Museum of Dumaguete. This is where Renz works. Renz is one of the 5 people that organized this literary festival, and he's also the curator of certain collections and displays in this museum. Inside the museum, taking up videos is not allowed, but taking photos is allowed as long as we don't use the flash, so I just took photos. The website of the museum has a complete set of information regarding these collections, but over here is the display of artworks that were used for Ian's book called The Great Little Hunter. It's a children's book filled with these artworks. I will link the website for the book down below. Ian is one of the 5 people that made this literary festival possible. And from here, let me just share the rest of the photos with you. Renz was our guide during this visit, and like I said, he was also the curator of these collections. I am very impressed. After the short visit, we all went back out and back into the van and went to number 58 EJ Blanco Drive for the literary festival events. But first, let me bring you finally to Liberaria Bookshop, which is accessed through this door that is also a bookcase. This is the most wonderful little bookshop that I have ever seen in person, because just look at the decor, the green walls, the mirrors, and all of the books. I have never even seen these books in person in any bookstore. I have only seen them in pictures online, and now here they are in person, and they are just gorgeous. So I will stop talking for now and just let you enjoy all of these wonderful things. Now, Gail, the owner of Liberaria Bookshop, showed me these little books that were not for sale. They're part of her personal collection. These are antique books, and here in this part of the video, she talks about them.
Venice? Parang, maybe, I'm not sure exactly, maybe places like in Venice. Books. Yeah. So, but I love this. I love the old maps and old engravings.
Old maps. I'm enamored with maps. Yeah. Kaya tuwang-tuwa ako kanina doon sa cafe, Arte Cafe.
Yeah. So there's that one. These are, I have a couple of books that are part of the Iliad. Parang this one was some 1771. Look at this.
1771. Oh my gosh.
That was the inscription, and then so it's not complete though. I have the 21st, and there's one more volume here. I know one of these has a map also. I just
So
can't
those are
find
for
it.
everything. Every book that's here is for sale.
Most these ones are for personal lang.
Ah, okay.
I just
So you
keep
put
it
them
there.
here.
Yeah,
on
for people to
display.
see. This is I love this book because I feel like it's hand bound, hand cut,
Oh my! Oh my!
and then the frontispiece is hand colored.
Oh, that's
Aren't they so beautiful? If you are ever looking for beautiful books, Liberaria Bookshop is the place to go to. I will link their Instagram in the description box because they make their books available for sale online. And from here, we had the rest of the panels for the festival. I will also share some short clips here.
So my romance origin story is I love reading Sweet Valley High and then Sweet Dreams.
First of all, mayong hapon sa tanan, mayong gabi from where I am. I started in 2003, long before I transferred to Dumaguete. It was a need for additional finances. So my friend invited me to let's explore this, and you and I are both writers, and that maybe we can do this because
So is there really any definite differences between English language romance and Filipino language romance? Jet, can you can you take that? Like how do you change up your style, if anything, when you do English and Tagalog?
You put out your work first online and then do the printing, and that's what we've noticed with here in the Filipino industry. But can I ask
some difference between Filipino authored works and foreign works? Sir Jay.
This was a discussion for several years in local comic scene also. What makes your work Pinoy? To some extent, you can make it overtly Pinoy by using the characters, location, habits, the culture, and many other local markers.
The innate Pinoyness comes out. Sometimes it does appear makapilit na nga. Itong pinipilit mo parang it's a little, it does feel artificial maybe, but I feel like as long as you approach it with sincerity, kasi nga we have so many different styles.
Regarding like say historical stuff or like stuff that's based on real life. So how do you not get overwhelmed when there's so much research to be done?
With words. As an artist, this is one that's more directed towards Miss Ren here. So as an artist, how would you like start with the writing process, like learning how to write for comic books? Because I mean,
one of the series that I co-edited with Kenneth Yu focused on stories for young readers. So we did a volume on fantasy, a volume on horror, and a volume on science fiction. So it's too bad that there are none here, but hopefully you'll be able to find them. Click on the link below.
In years of editing speculative fiction anthologies, our concerns as Filipino, like in Western texts, you'll often see the journey of the individual, how they become themselves.
Shining armors, and it's kind of like, this is not Filipino. I do get students like that, like especially students who were brought up reading Tolkien and all of those, and then they get into the creative writing program and they want to write about the things that they have read about. And
have you ever written? Is it easy for you to? Have you ever written speculative fiction in Filipino, or do you prefer it in English, or to write in English?
I wish I could write in Filipino, but
and stuff like that. But also, I'm a teacher right now. And I teach a lot of students, mostly from other countries, Japan, Korea, China, and stuff like that. Some of these kids are interested in things like our fiction, things that basically our fantasy and stuff like that. And I told some of my students things like the story of Ibong Adarna.
Multiple artists from Dumaguete, they were tasked to paint boxes that look like books to paint the story in their imagination. No? So many of them used paint, but also use different mediums like clay and fabric.
And finally, here is my panel, which would be my second panel for the duration of the festival. I could not film myself, so here are some video clips taken from my point of view.
Literature, the Dumaguete style.
And so like with Negros, I always notice there's always a softness to it. There's always like the idea of negative space. I don't know if it's a conscious thing.
Question before, notating and labeling. That's why I kind of said like it's a little bit nice to put a label that this is a original story. This is a story from Cebu, from Liga, and all that, because it makes it easy. I think we're done discussing or exploring the what, okay, and the why of regional literature. So right now, let's try to move on to the last, okay, to our end goal, and that is how to promote regional literature, champion regional literature. So
the thing from the regions, the story, that will resonate inside and outside is the thing that the audience for it cannot stop talking about.
After my panel, there was one other panel which I wanted to watch, but at this point I was quite drained because I have been so tense because of stage fright. I always get stage fright all the time. It's exhausting, but at this point I just felt so relieved that I survived, but also drained. So I had to step away from the people and I just walked around to explore the rest of number 58 EJ Blanco Drive. Come, walk around with me. I ordered this banana strawberry smoothie and once more turned to my emotional support Kindle. After I was done with the smoothie, I also moved to this inner sala to lounge for a little bit in this giant circular chair that is very, very comfortable. There were no people here at that moment, so I was able to decompress even more. And then it was time for the final panel for the day and for the entire festival, which I felt well enough to watch.
We had a discussion on that yesterday. That is kind of apart from why we're doing this.
To a certain group that makes sure that they will buy, and then selling titles that are actually culture supportive.
And I want to add a little bit on why invest in the business. Also, I want to start there. I started during the pandemic. I was just cleaning up my kids' books. I posted them on Instagram. I love books. I love, going to secondhand bookstores and
literature as a dying industry, but actually it's not. We like to look at it as in a different perspective. We like to look at it as a business. Let's see, it's closely linked kasi with education. I like to give another parallel example. In transportation. Sa transportation, wala naman mawala. Hindi nawala yung the taxis.
Cookbook with pictures. I think you edited it.
I designed it.
You designed it? You designed it. So, it was all with friends. So we were not even thinking about the overhead, etc., whatever. And a lot of those things were given away.
And then at the end, there was the soft closing ceremonies.
We'd like to thank everyone who has been here, and this really is part of the we don't call it a dream, we call it a goal of parang uplifting the creative industry. And one of the things that are in our eyes right now is having a UNESCO designation here. Now we don't
all us writers, our journeys as writers started here actually in Dumaguete. So it's really a supreme honor to be part here, to be at the start of one of Dumaguete's maiden journeys, its first literary festival. Such an honor for all of us.
Thank you, Lance, for that beautiful performance. Let's give Lance a round of applause. Now, I'd like to invite our co-festival director, Sir Ian Sakot, for the closing remarks.
I'd like to do this with Gail by my side. Gail, come on. I know you're blacking out right now, but just be with me. Okay. We started planning the Lit Fest around November last year. In December, but we were so busy by January and February, we kind of didn't do anything, and then we had to really plan everything by March. I think we need the transfer sheet is really the Department of Trade and Industry. When we were planning this in November, they were like, it's about who can sponsor us, and I just happened to be.
These are the 5 people who made the festival happen. There's Ian, Gail, Ernest, Renz, and Tara. I'm so proud of them. This was not easy to organize, but they did it, and it was a successful literary festival. I will link the official Facebook page of the festival down below. And then came the open mic, but we actually didn't stay for it anymore because we went to dinner, which was prepared for everybody. Once again, because I was having too much fun, I forgot to take several video clips, but certainly I'm sure everyone here all had our memories to hold on to, even without the videos. It was truly a long day and everyone was exhausted, especially the people who have worked so hard to make this happen. They deserve all the love in the world. As for me, I called it a day at 12 minutes past 10 o'clock in the evening.